A black woman took out her life savings and decided to move to a small town to live like a rich lady. It was her first time on a plane, but she was immediately squished by the person in front of her on purpose. She didn't want to make a big deal out of it, but to her surprise the other passenger complained first. The nearby flight attendant also tried to convince her to give up some space. That's when she stopped playing nice, but the lead attendant mocked her and said, "If you've got the guts, why don't you fly first class?"
How much for the damn cocoon?
Sure enough, spending more money really made a difference. She was treated to delicious food and drinks, and even the flight attendant's attitude completely changed. When Georgia stepped out of the airport, she was drawn in by an ad on the wall, so she booked a private jet on the spot. Just 30 minutes later, she landed on the rooftop of the 5-star hotel she had booked. As soon as she walked into the lobby, she was stunned. The place was filled with oil tycoons and elites from all walks of life. She even spotted her company's CEO vacationing with his assistant. Meanwhile, she was just a regular cookware saleswoman. Unfortunately, doctors diagnosed her with a terminal illness. They even brought in specialists for confirmation. The experts told her she had less than 3 weeks left to live.
What? Like I'm gonna die?
And to make matters worse, her insurance didn't cover the treatment, which meant Georgia had to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars out of pocket. After a lifetime of being frugal, the news broke her completely. Not a single dream from her bucket list had been fulfilled. She hadn't traveled to her favorite destinations, hadn't tasted her favorite foods. Even her wedding photo had been poorly photoshopped. So she decided to quit the job where she'd been overworked and underpaid, and give herself one final vacation. Georgia arrived at the hotel 2 hours early, but the receptionist told her the room she booked wasn't ready. The only room available was the presidential suite, which cost $4,000 a night. She tipped like a rich person, and the bellhop was shocked. He couldn't believe how generous she was. In the end, he only dared to keep one bill, and politely returned the rest. Then she went on a spree, trying all the luxurious and bizarre spa treatments reserved for the wealthy. She didn't quite understand most of it, but she thoroughly enjoyed every bit. Feeling inspired to change her appearance, she walked into a high-end boutique and asked the staff to help her put together a trendy new look. Designer clothes really hit different. Even an ordinary woman could look like an international supermodel. There were so many styles that Georgia was overwhelmed. In the end, she chose a slightly understated red evening gown from a sea of extravagant designer dresses.